Penn's Peak Radio, where rock and country collide. But as you well know, it is the wall-to-wall country show, which means nothing but country. That's the way we like to do it right here on a Wednesday, with the entire show repeating, of course, on a Sunday morning, kicking off at 8 a.m. Eastern. And in the second hour, whether you're listening on a Wednesday or a Sunday morning, you know by now that that is the special hour for special guests. And I got one of my BFFs back on the line, a returning guest from the tail end of last year. So happy to have Shari Rowe back on the show. Hey, Shari, welcome back.
Oh, thanks, Casey. It's good to hear your voice again. I always love chatting with you.
Well, it's always been so much fun, and you've got such energy and such enthusiasm about what you're doing. And I know you have a lot of new kind of irons in the fire, and you're going to tell us about some of those things here in just a minute. But for those folks who may or may not have caught the interview from last fall, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you're at right now, and then we'll touch base on some of the music that you have out there and find out what's new and exciting for Shari Rowe. But let's step back in time for just a moment, okay, Shari?
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Yeah, I grew up in Arizona. I'm a camping, fishing, outdoor, horseback riding kind of girl. Grew up in a big family. I love to write and co-write with other people in Nashville and out here in Arizona. Grew up singing with my family, and then eventually started singing in church. And little by little, just been kind of growing this platform of being in the professional music industry, and just had a lot of great opportunities of late, getting some great support from radio, and the stages are getting bigger, growing the fan base, and I'm just so blessed. I get to connect with a ton of fans and keep making music, so I can't complain.
Now, you've been on the move. You're one of those girls who don't let grass grow under her boots, as my mom used to say. Well, she actually used another part of the anatomy, but we'll just say boots for today.
There we go. Yeah.
But, you've been a shaker and a mover pretty much from the get-go. You've been performing with some big names already. Performing with Big and Rich and Maddie and Tay, that's like old hat for you now. Tell us about some of the experiences you've had with performing with some of these folks who are like really out there and doing such a great job.
Sometimes when we meet different people in the industry, it feels surreal. It's almost like I'm watching it unfold. And for me, I'm really always focusing on the songs and getting good music out there and connecting with the fans. And then when I find myself in a position where I'm sort of like sharing a stage or getting to meet some of these people that I've looked up to, I don't know, it just feels surreal. It's been an exciting adventure. This last February, we took part in the country radio seminar in Nashville, and everywhere I turned, I'm looking here and there, and I'm taking pictures with Tim McGraw, and I'm like, is this really happening? And then we went to a party at Big and Rich's house during CRS, and it's one of those things where you sort of go, okay, I'm made to do this, and I love doing this, and then you start rubbing elbows with people that you've looked up to who have worked worked real hard to get where they are. And you get to meet them on a personal level and have conversations. And, we're all just real people. We're all working. We're all trying to give our best to our fans. And that's really the best way I can summarize it, is just, connecting on a real down-to-earth kind of level with those people. It just feels good. It makes me really happy.
Shari, were... you're meeting some of these people, and some of these people I'm sure are in the iconic level for you, or in the that's part of my goal kind of position. But if there was someone out there who you were like, if I met that person and I had a nice, intimate conversation and had the opportunity to ask them questions and stuff, who would that one person out there be, and what kind of questions would you be asking of them?
Wow, that's tough, because a few people came to mind when you said that for different reasons. So just, I guess, real quickly, I'll touch on each of them. I'm a huge Keith Urban fan.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, I'm a huge...
Who isn't?
Yeah, right? I know. The way he's defined his sound and style, it's so unique to him, and the way he blends country with rock, and the way he balances his family life with touring and recording, and and the celebrity that, status that he's reached. I would love to have conversations about those kinds of things with him. Miranda Lambert, I feel like if I would get to sit down and just talk with her about songwriting and actually just life, I feel like I love the way she's just, she loves to get her hands dirty and camp and hunt and all of that, and just to kind of laugh with her and, maybe have a drink and share a meal and just kind of talk down to earth with her. I would love to do that. And then there's Alison Krauss, who I just respect so much as a producer and a writer and a vocalist, and I would love to learn from her. If I could just have a conversation with her about some music things and just kind of gain some of her wisdom, that would be a dream come true.
Is the combination of people like that the inspiration that drives you into becoming the artist that you want to be, or is there more of another person set aside for that position in your eye?
I think they do very much. That's my motivation. I look at people who, in my opinion, are balancing family and faith and career, and also have just a richness in their writing. Those are the people that definitely inspire me, because that's really what, if I had a goal that I would, to reach, it would be to maintain a strong family life. My husband and I have a great marriage, and he's my bass player, and we tour together, and we do all of this together. So to be able to maintain that foundation, maintain that community at home, and to really, represent something more than entertainment, and show people that you can, have faith, you can have family, and still be in the entertainment industry and put out great music. That would be those are my goals. So yes, those are the type of people that inspire me.
I think I think sometimes the persona of being in like an industry, like the music industry, not necessarily any particular genre, but it's a tough industry. You have to be strong. You have to know what you want. You have to make some tough decisions. Do you find that there is the dark side to that part of what you're trying to do, or are you kind of like, closing the door on that and going, you know what, it's more of a light for me, and this is, do you struggle with the two sides of the industry in a position like where you are? You're trying to be a breakout artist. You're trying to get out there. Do you find that sometimes that dark side knocks you down a little bit?
I can't say at this point that I've struggled with that, but I think that with any career that you choose, and honestly in our daily lives, I think we really have to decide what we're going to bring to the table, so to speak. And I think if you really have to know who you are, know what you stand for, and surround yourself with people who know that about you and are going to hold you accountable. And I think if you go into anything with that mentality, those are the safeguards that I think are necessary for any career. But in an industry such as the music industry, I mean, the ideas of being in the spotlight or trying to get ahead, I mean, there are opportunities out there that can be had if there were compromises, given. And, we just determined going into anything that we do, I say we, my husband and I, that there are just certain things that we won't compromise on. So.
And stick to your guns on that stuff.
Yeah. You got to know who you are, and you got to be able to stand up for that when the rubber meets the road, so to speak. Right.
Well, good for you on that, and I hope you're able to continue that sincerity in the career that you guys are working on and pursuing and getting where you want to go. And I think one of the things that might help explain to people who you are and what you're doing, of course, is the music that you pick, the songs that you sing, the writing that you do, how you perform in your performances, and that comes to an EP that you've had out since last fall. You want to tell us a little bit about how that all came to fruition and some of the music that we're going to play today?
Yeah, absolutely. My husband and I travel a lot between Nashville and here in Arizona. Arizona's our home, and we spent a summer out in Nashville and just connecting with some of the people we've known over the years. And Lamont Records listened to some of our music that we had released on an independent project and gave us a call and said, we'd love to work with you guys. And so we recorded a 4-song EP with Lamont Records. 2 of those songs on that EP were released as singles recently. And it was just really exciting to hear songs that I've written and co-written unfold in the studio with some of the best players in Nashville, and to get the support of radio, that's always exciting, just to know that fans are having the opportunity to hear your music. So, yeah, we've had some success with that, and we've built a great foundation for some new music that's to come this summer.
Awesome. We'll touch back. We'll get back to some things to look forward to here in just a quick minute. But let's stick with the EP that you have out right now. A couple of the ones that you've been releasing as singles is Moonshine and Family Gathering, and I'd like to feature both of those today and remind people about your sound and stuff. Is there a particular one you'd like to feature first, and tell us why? What's that song mean to you? What is it all about for you?
Well, why don't we kick it off with Family Gathering? That was released just before the holidays, and I think just because we've been talking so much about our lives, my family life and things along that line, I think that'd be great. I wrote this song with my great, big, wonderful family in mind, and when I first sat down to write it, it was sort of tongue-in-cheek, talking about just the quirks that families have, and it kind of evolved into really being grateful that at the end of the day, if we have family, if we have really community, even if it's friends or family, at the end of the day, that, to be grateful for that, because it really is a huge blessing to have those people, even if we're all a little crazy and quirky at times.
Do you think people are relating to this song and looking at it and saying, wow, she's talking about my family? Have people approached you on that level for this particular song? And have you gotten some corny stories of what other people's families, you think yours is corny, but you haven't heard nothing yet, kind of thing?
Yeah. I haven't heard any, particulars about, certain family members, but I have had many people tell me. It's interesting because you write a song and you write it about, you're referencing certain things in your life, and some things you're elaborating on just for the sake of the story, and it may not necessarily be a firsthand experience, but it's interesting to hear people talk about it and say, oh, well, I thought about this person in my family, or I thought about my daughter dating for the first time, or, things that I didn't particularly mention in the song, but it's wonderful for me to be able to hear that people are finding themselves in the song, and you want to be able to do that. You want to be able to reflect your own heart and your own story, but you want to leave room for people to identify in their own personal way. So, yeah, I've had lots of people come up and tell me that, and I've heard of tears falling, and I've seen some tears fall when we've sung it live, and
wow,
it means a lot to me. Yeah.
That's got to give you some validation to your writing efforts as well as your performing efforts, when you can look out into a crowd and, they're just not there kind of like enjoying the show, but they're a part of the show with you when you see that they're being affected by your music. I mean, that's got to be a huge validation and something that I would think never really grows old. Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right about that?
No, that never grows old. That moment right there, I think that's probably my favorite moment, is when I know that I'm truly connecting with people in the audience. I love performing live. I think that is my, next to, I'd say hearing a song come to life in the studio is right up there, but man, yeah, knowing that you're connecting with people and something is resonating with them, that is a very special moment for sure.
Yeah, and I would imagine that just doesn't get old, because it means something to so many different people, like you say,
sure.
Say a line in a song, or you say a song in general, and sure, people are gonna automatically associate it to their life because they don't really know your life,
Right, exactly.
But it's how it touches something in their memory or their heart or their life or whatever, especially when you write songs like that. I mean, we talk about, just the boot kick and having a fun songs that really don't mean much anything. Sometimes the words don't even go together right, but they're just fun. You know what I mean? They're just out there to dance to or whatever. But then, you've got those kinds of songs, the ones that are a little bit more charismatic and heartfelt. And that's got to be something that's a pretty cool feeling for any artist. I mean, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be pretty cool. Well, why don't we feature that one? We're going to take a little bit of a break. Shari, if you can hang in there for just a little bit for us.
I'll be here.
We're going to pay some bills, make sure we can keep doing what we're doing and talk to fine people like Shari. But we're going to come back with this song, and I want everybody out there to kind of listen to the words, take it to heart, kind of imagine yourself in her story, and really give it a good listen. Now, this is something you wrote, or this is one of your own personal songs, right?
Yes, I wrote this, and I also had a good friend of mine, Nick Orso, join in about two-thirds of the way through and help me finish it up. So got to give credit to my good friend Nick.
Awesome. Well, and then again, you got this great collaboration of great minds, feelings, and heartfelt words coming together. I want you guys to give it a listen. It's a little something from Shari Rowe. It's called Family Gathering. Shari and I will be back in just a moment right here on Penn's Peak Radio. And there you have it, Shari Rowe's Family Gathering, talking about kind of like everyday life, you know, the things that go on in everyday life, touching the lives and the souls of many people when she performs it live. Shari back with us right now. Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's truly, you got to really listen to the words, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think the line that, you know, may or may not, you know, kind of touch a lot of people is the part about the phone call. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Because that happens. You know, you finally get that phone call and, you know, you want to hear it and everybody's yelling and carrying on and it's like, everybody just shut up for 5 seconds, you know?
You know, I think that scene has probably happened in every family. And I have a nephew who's in the military, and we've had many different family members serve in our military. And you know, they move away. You're just holding your breath, waiting to hear either that they're okay, or you know what the latest is, or you're having that family dinner or get together or the holidays, and they're that person that's missing, and you're just waiting, you know, so that you can put them on speaker, or you know, it's like everybody's wanting to pass the phone around. You're right.
Right.
It's just chaos. It's that beautiful chaos, you know.
Right. Yeah, any video in mind for that one? I think that would be a really pretty video, like, you know, kind of telling the story through a video. Are you going to be doing some of those with some of your music, Shari?
I love making music videos. We released one for Moonshine. We've talked about releasing one for Family Gathering. I think it would make a great video too. I can picture the whole thing.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before. I think you're right.
I think that would be a home run for people to watch it. I think they'd be, you know, bawling through half of it, but you know, but I really think that would be a really good video, and I think, you know, even, you know, just a representation, for just the whole family, you know, thing, and you know, pitch it to Hallmark, man. Pitch it to Hallmark.
Yeah, right. I know. That's a good idea.
Pitch it to Hallmark. I think they'd like, yeah, we like that song in the background when we're talking about great cards, you know.
Sounds like a plan.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be doing a Hallmark commercial by next year, and you'll be like, yeah, Casey came up with that idea.
Right? I know. That was Casey's idea.
I'm trying to help you guys out every step of the way, man. I always do try.
Oh, that's great.
Now, speaking of Moonshine, you mentioned that one. There is a video out for that one. People can catch that one on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of fun making the video for that one. That was a blast. We did that in Nashville, and we actually were able to record a lot of it. There's some scenes in the woods. It's sort of like a dance party out in the backwoods, so to speak, and we recorded those scenes at a person's farm. They actually allowed us to use their property, and then we performed some of it at Kimbrough's in Franklin out in Tennessee, and it's kind of set in the 20s, sort of vintage vibe. So, yeah, check out the video. There's a really cool car in the video that was used in the Great Gatsby.
Nice.
And water for elephants. So it has kind of a cool vintage feel to it.
Awesome. And the story behind that is that when you wrote or co-wrote?
Yeah, I co-wrote. I started writing that one, and then I had a couple friends from Nashville join in and finish it with me. As I said earlier, I love to camp. I love Arizona, and my husband and I and my family in general have a favorite spot up in the White Mountains, just bordering the Indian reservation. And some of that land up there is just, it's so remote. I mean, when we go camping, we need to take a satellite phone just in case there's an emergency, because there's wildlife, there's no cell reception. We take, a couple guns and some great food, and we take off, for at least a week, if not longer, up there. And honestly, of all the places I've been, whether it's traveling overseas or, doing shows all across the country, you could ask me, do you want to go on a beach vacation? Do you want to go to Europe? And, all those would be great. But my favorite place to go is up in those woods on that mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many songs about, like the title of Moonshine, and there are so many songs about drinking and partying. And, there's a time to have some drinks and have some fun, and I love that, just like anybody else. But there is no greater high for me than just being up in that spot with my husband, and that's really what the song is about, just
Mm-hmm.
being in love
Mm-hmm.
and finding those old logging roads and having a little dance under the stars and under the moonlight.
Nice. And so the content is, I guess it depends on your point of view. When you hear the word moonshine, you could think of alcohol, or you could think of moonshine, the shine
Exactly.
of the moon.
Yeah, a little play on words there, yeah. There's a line in the song that says, "I know you got a little stash in a mason jar.
Right.
I'd rather get a buzz from shooting stars."
Aw, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to give it a listen, too. We're going to be back more with Shari in just a minute. We're going to touch base on some of the stuff that she has coming up, new and exciting information for all of her fans out there. Touch base a little bit about some social media and that. You can hang in for just a few more minutes yet, Shari?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm having a good time. Thanks.
Great, and we're going to find out a little bit more about Shari Rowe and what's new and in the pocket coming up in just a minute. But first, I want you guys to give a listen to this next song of hers, little something called Moonshine, and you can determine if it's about alcohol or being in love. We'll be back in just a moment right here on Wall to Wall Country. When you get the opportunity to check that out on YouTube, Shari Rowe's Moonshine. I like it.
Hey, sounds good, Casey.
I could be one of your backup singers.
Hey, that sounds great. That's a good plan.
Yeah. It's another one of those where everybody can sing along to it. You're sitting there, you're doing your swag, and you're like, and maybe having a little moonshine too. But but it's a good one, and I think really people need to check out the video because it's a lot of fun to watch, and especially when you see that all kind of like come together. You listen to the song, you hear a little of the artist, and then you get to see, your interpretation of the song, and it just puts a smile on your face. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Cool.
Right. And it's like a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge kind of action going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Now, you were mentioned before that you have possibly some new stuff in the works for this summer, and is there any wink, wink, nudge, nudge you can share with us a little bit more about that stuff?
Oh, man. Honestly, I am pretty excited about just the next year, especially this summer, though.
Okay.
We leave for a tour in Poland on May 19th. So we're going to be
wow.
That's something we can talk about a little bit more in depth if we have time. But right after that, we come back on the 31st, and we have just a few days at home here in Arizona, and then we hit the road to head to Nashville for CMA week.
Okay.
We'll be doing a radio tour on the way there and on the way back. Gonna visit Uncle Si from Duck Dynasty.
Nice.
We had an opportunity. Well, I played a show with him a while back. It was for the Willow Fire Relief Fund, and I got to know him a little bit. And he and his daughter-in-law, Marcia, who's also an artist, got to know them. And on our last trip out to Nashville, we stopped in and we stayed with them, and we got to jam with Uncle Si for a while, which was crazy. I mean, the guys and I went to sleep that night, and we're like, are we really just staying at Uncle Si's place, and did we really just jam with him in the living room for like 4 hours? It was crazy. So we're going to do that again, and it's all, this trip out to Nashville this time is all going to be centered around a new single coming out, and I'm really excited about it because, as you go through different doors that open up for you in this industry, and you meet different people and you begin collaborating with new people, it's exciting to hear some of the music that comes out of it. So I've been hearing songs from different writers in Nashville, co-writing with different people, and I'm more excited than ever just to hear how the production end of it comes out, just meeting new people, and tapping into some of that just amazing talent pool that's out there in Nashville.
Yeah.
So, yeah, new music on the way for sure. It's going to be a great summer song. It should be coming out right after CMA, so
Okay.
we'll be looking at June, July, somewhere around there. I'll keep everyone updated on the release date, but
Okay. You better keep
yeah,
my name on
excited
that
about
list,
that.
girlfriend. I better get one of those.
Oh, you will, my dear. You will.
Yeah. You stay in touch.
I will for sure.
Because we'll get it out there for you. Now, speaking of staying in touch, actually, how do people do that? Is it just more for the website, your social media? I think I already know the answer to that question, but why don't you just share that
Yeah.
with the listening audience a little bit?
Yeah, there's ShariRowe.com, which is sort of like the home base for connecting, with everything else. But as far as on a daily basis, really, you're right, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, if anyone's on Periscope. When we take these trips and we meet different people and do shows, we love to share those streams live with people so they can kind of like be right there with us. I love connecting with people on social media. That's the one thing, those kind of things can be a distraction in daily life, logging on all the time. But I'm telling you, when you're an artist, there's no better way to connect with your fans. You're sharing pictures of places, and people that you're meeting and sharing the latest information. And it means so much to me to log on and know that, oh, wow, so-and-so in California listened and they want to connect, or, different people all over the world, really. But it's important to me. So, yeah, find us, and we'll connect.
And that's one way that people can find out when you are releasing your music and how they can get their hands on it. Is most of your music electronic, Shari, where they can get it across any of the electronic medias?
Yep, Amazon, iTunes, all of those venues for sure. But we do have actual CDs. So if people go to the actual website, ShariRowe.com, there is a section there where they can request to have a CD ordered and sent out to them.
Nice. And that sounds like a good thing. And they can figure out, your schedule, if you're coming to town, when you're coming. Do you guys ever head up north, up into the northeast area of the States?
We haven't played any shows up in your neck of the woods yet,
okay.
But I have a feeling that that's just around the corner. We're starting to branch out beyond this region. We've done a regional kind of stop. So it looks like we'll be possibly playing a festival up in Illinois at the end of the summer. And as things grow, we just are finding more opportunities to come to different areas that we haven't been before. So I hope we get to come up and see you.
Yeah. I mean, and I told you this the last time you were on. The doors to the station are always open. We'd love to have you, even if you get close enough that you can drive in and just spend a little bit of time. That would be awesome. I always invite all my guests in. We love to have you here and meet you in person. And it's always fun when you kind of finally get to meet somebody you've been chatting with, face to face.
I agree. That's a cool thing to be able to do. Thanks, Casey. I will make sure that if we are remotely close enough, we'll make it happen.
That sounds great, and we're looking forward to it. And I'm sure at some point our paths will cross here. But very excited for you. It sounds like you are on fire as usual, just like you were the last time I talked to you. Got a lot of big plans going on, and I think you nailed it on the head when we talked earlier and started. You're one of those people where you have all these plans and you know what you're doing. You're going to Poland, and you've been to Poland before, right?
Yes, we toured in 2014.
Yeah, okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
So this is going to be another neat experience, but I got to tell you, people in the UK and over in England, London, Sweden, and they love their country too. I mean, they love country. I mean, anybody goes over there, wow, they're like country bumpkins over there.
No, they really do. They love when we go over there and play shows. I mean, they're all in. They're just all smiles, and they can't wait to just connect and meet. And we're playing some of the biggest festivals in Poland, and we have some opportunities to actually play for some of the government leaders, mayors, and
nice.
There's just this whole tour set up. So we're excited. We'll be there for 10 or 11 days, and last time we went, I think it was 15 shows in 10 days. So we're going to be busy, but it's going to be great.
I think you had just gotten back, because I vaguely remember you saying that, and that you guys couldn't wait to go back. I think if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were like, man, we just got back, and we got back in the States, and you love the States, but you were like, okay, we're looking forward to it. And I think you had actually mentioned that you were planning on going back. You were planning on making that happen.
Probably. I'm glad it finally, it's unfolding now. So, yeah, it's happening. And, yeah, I can't wait to get over there and have some Polish food, too. That's some good eating.
Yeah. Well, hey, when you're in Poland, right, you got to eat the Polish food.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, got to have some pierogies.
That's right. The real ones.
Yes, exactly.
So, as I was mentioning before, I mean, you're somebody who, you got your head square on your shoulders. You know what direction you're going in. You're very good. And, younger artists can take note, too, about how to be able to keep the balance right between, home, family, your faith, plus your job.
Mm-hmm.
You don't let that overrule you. You don't let that darken you or taking you in a bad place. As long as you can keep that as an open door, I think you're going to be successful no matter what you do or where you go, Shari. And I wish you the best of luck with everything, my dear.
Thank you, Casey. I appreciate your support so much. It's always good talking with you.
Yeah, well, don't forget, you got to keep me posted on some of that new music, and we'll get it out there from our end. And like I said, if you're ever up in the area, feel free. Just get in touch with me. You know how to reach me. And just good luck and keep smiling, girl. You got it rocking, and we like your music.
Thanks,
so.
Casey.
All right, well, you take care, girl.
You too. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your week.
You too, and safe travels to Poland and back.
Thank you, my dear.